So let's say a prayer. Everyone close your eyes, take a big deep breath. Sink into this present moment. Dear Mother, Father, God, Divine Source, Universe, all that is, we come together today with open hearts, open minds, and an open spirit. We allow today to be a time of love and support and miracles. And we take a big deep breath. And together we say thank you very much. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Good morning, Todd. I just saw you down there. All right, everybody. Amen, amen, amen. Got a little Scottish Moors music going on. Okay. All right. So what we do here is we read sections of A Course in Miracles. I explain it, and we see how it applies to your life. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the invites. So let's go. This is chapter 17. It's the beginning of it. So we're just going to start reading it. Scottish Moorish music. Scottish Moorish. Scottish Moorish. Say that 10 times. All right, I have to get my highlighter. So here we go. Sit back and listen, and let's talk about what this incredible work is teaching you. Here we go. Chapter 17. Forgiveness and the Holy Relationship, Section 1. Bringing fantasy to truth. The betrayal of the Son of God lies only in illusions, and all his sins are but his own imagining. His reality is forever sinless. He need not be forgiven, but awaken. Let's stop right there. This first line is very, and if you don't know A Course in Miracles, this is a monoistic teaching, it's not a dualistic teaching. And so most of us that have been raised in dualistic religions, this is not a religion, this is a spiritual mind study. Most of us have been inundated, indoctrinated with this idea that you have come into this life as a sinner, that there is something essentially wrong with you. And that thing that you have been inundated with, that there is something essentially wrong with you just by being who you are, is the source of most of your problems. And it's not true, and it is not true. So what this is saying is the sins are your own imagining. For in the Course in Miracles, only love is real. Your connection with God is the only thing that's real. Whatever you call God, divine source, that connection is the only thing that is truly real. And I'm glad you're here then, Todd. Good. So if you are walking around in your life feeling like there's something wrong with me, I have to change, I have something essentially wrong with me, what this is telling you, this work is telling you, there's nothing wrong with you. You literally are just in an illusion, and you are asleep. And you are asleep. You know, all the great teachings talk about the great awakening, or wakening up, or enlightening. And so what this is telling us right here is, you don't need to be forgiven for any sins. You just need to wake up to the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is love. Take a big deep breath. So he goes on to say, in his dreams, he has betrayed himself. In his dreams, you, I, me, we have betrayed ourselves. You have betrayed your brothers, and his God. Yet, what is done in dreams cannot really be done. It is impossible to convince the dreamer that this is so. For dreams are what they are because of their illusions of reality. Do you understand what he's saying? Is that ultimately, lots of hugs to Todd. We love Todd. Thank you for saying that. So what he's saying is that you are in a dream, you are asleep, but you do not know you can wake up, and you can wake up in any moment. And we'll go on. Yeah, I hear you, Todd. See, this is exactly what happens, and Todd's been doing this work for a while. So Todd knows that that is the illusion. And what your ego will try to keep you doing is believing that that statement is true. You are not good enough. There is something wrong with you. There is something inherently that you must change. And I'm here to tell you, what this work will tell you is that you are not a problem to be solved. You are not a problem to be solved. No, you're not. You are the light of God. Everyone take a big deep breath. Only in waking is the full release from the dream, for only then does it become perfectly apparent that they had no effect upon reality at all, and did not change it. Fantasies change reality. That is their purpose. They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so in the mind that would have reality be different. Let me say that again. This is really important, everybody. Fantasies change reality. That is their purpose. They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so in the mind that would have reality be different. So, for example, anyone that is going through major depression and all of this stuff where something's wrong, it's horrible, it's just an awful situation, that is a fantasy. That's a fantasy. Because you can have a million things happening in the world, but you never, ever, 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 ever will lose your connection to the source. Lose your connection to God. And so what this is reminding Todd and me and you and everyone is that no matter what your ego is trying to tell you, there is no, God is love. There is so much constant crap. That's right. So what happens is there is constant crap, because that is the world of illusion, of craziness, of insanity. And if you can see it as insanity and a fantasy of someone that is sleeping, when you wake up and remember that you are the perfect child of God, and that nothing in this world, nothing in a relationship, nothing in your job, nothing in your finances, nothing in what you say to yourself can ever, 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 ever affect that, then you come back. Then you wake up, right? So, let me say that again. They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so in the mind. So the mind is where you're either creating heaven or you're creating hell, right? And there is something in the mind from A Course in Miracles called the ego. Thank you, Noel. The ego. And the ego literally wants to keep you stuck. The ego, so we have these two things happening. There's a reality of the ego, and then they have a reality that is pure love, that is connected with God, that can never be disconnected from God. There are these two realities that are going on. And that's right, Noel. The ego's edict from A Course in Miracles point of view, it says, the ego's edict is seek, but do not find. Search, but never get there. Keep working, and you'll never achieve it. That's what it keeps saying. The Spirit's edict is, you're already there. You don't even need to change. Okay? If you're just joining us, we're reading from a spiritual mind study called The Course in Miracles. Okay? So, listen to the next quote, because it's really powerful. Really powerful. It is then, that's exactly right, Tia. Listen, if this was the easiest thing in the world, this whole world would be a different situation. But we came here to become perfect, to become more connected with our source, to remember, to remind ourselves of what we truly are. It is then only your wish to change reality that is fearful, because by your wish you think you have accomplished what you wish. By your wish, it's a process. By your wish, you think you have accomplished the wish. This strange position, in a sense, acknowledges your power. If you're not interested, then you don't have to stay. Yet, by distorting it and devoting it to evil, it also makes it unreal. You cannot be faithful to two masters who ask conflicting things of you. What you use in fantasy, you deny in truth. What you use in fantasy, you deny in truth. And I know that the Course in Miracles can be very complicated and seem very dense at sometimes, but it's really quite simple. What this really is, what he's saying right here, is that in your fantasy, you think you're accomplishing things. You think that you're actually moving forward, but you are in fantasy. You are in fantasy. And when you are in that fantasy, when you are in that sleeping state, you cannot see. So what we're doing here is we're waking up. We're waking up. And as we wake up, one of the biggest benefits of waking up is that you have peace. And as you wake up, you have joy. And as you wake up, you are connected with the love that never ends within you. When you maintain, you do this work, you keep changing your mind, you keep changing your mind, you keep choosing again. That's what you do. You remind yourself of what's real and what's not real. Listen to this part and you might understand. When you maintain that there must be an order of difficulty in miracles, all you mean is that there are some things you would withhold from the truth. You believe truth cannot deal with them only because you would keep them from the truth. Very simply, your lack of faith in the power, this is one of the biggest things this is really one of the biggest things. Oh, I am, yeah. Hold on. Let me just make sure. I want to say this. Very simply. Here we go. Very simply, your lack of faith in the power that heals all pain arises from your wish to retain some aspects of reality for yourself. So give up the battle. Give up the battle. Stop battling. Let me say this. Todd, what you're being asked to do, you're literally being asked right now to see that you create what you defend against. And as you create what you defend against, you will create more of it. As you defend against it, you will. So let it go. So let it go. Let it go. There's only love to fall into. There's only love to fall into. Your lack of faith in the power, listen to this. Listen to this, everyone. Your lack of faith in the power that heals all pain arises from your wish to retain some aspect of reality for fantasy. So, for example, what Todd, our wonderful brother, is going through right now is that his ego is wanting to control this right now. His ego is wanting to push it away. And as you do that, you will start to totally change and you will feel the peace of God in your life. Alright? If you but realized what this must do to your appreciation of the whole, what you reserve for yourself, you take away from him who would release you. Unless you give it back, Todd, you're the perfect brother for right now. Unless you give it back, it is inevitable that your perspective on reality be warped and uncorrected. Let me say this again. Unless you give it back the things that you're like, I can control that, I can do that, I have complete dominion over this problem, over this craziness, over this insanity, unless you decide to give that back, literally, to faith, to the divine source of love that is always flowing, that will always catch you, unless you give it back, it is inevitable that your perspective on reality be warped and uncorrected. Take a deep breath. That's what your ego wants you to think. That's what your ego wants you to think. God knows. Love is always there. Love is always there. So, as soon as we start, the more you hand over, that's right, Native Graffiti, the more that you start to hand over things and say, I can't do this, but I will follow. I don't know what to do, but I will follow. The more you do that, the more you get it. And Todd, you're being tested because you've been doing this. That's right. That's right. That's I forget what your name is, and that's the truth. From a Course in Miracles point of view, there's 50 principles of a Course in of a miracle, and one of the biggest ones is a miracle is a shift in your perception. That's okay, Todd. We're all there for you. That's right. So stop reserving it for yourself. Todd, it is only through the power you're totally being guided right now in this moment to have a fucking miracle. Are you ready for a miracle? We got you, totally. And everyone here, Todd is us. Everyone say yes if you understand Todd is us. Todd is you. Todd is me. Everyone say yes if you understand that. Yes. We're all go through it. And when you're on the path, I will tell you this very clearly, when you're on the path and you've been doing the work like Todd has been doing, you will be asked to let go of the ego in a harder way than when you're asleep. But as you wake up, he's not being tested. He's not being tested, Tasha. It's just that it's so much clearer. There's no testing. There's no God testing us. Listen, I want you to know that this work, everybody, is not the God, the source, the divine, that in dualistic religions go, well, you're going to have to go through that so that you can prove. There's none of that. I know that it just flashed, so I'm going to just stay here right now. I'm just going to stop. Please tell me or give me hearts when I'm back. Please give me hearts when I'm back. Okay, so all this is saying is, will you let go more? Will you literally claim a miracle for yourself? Will you claim a miracle for yourself? Because a miracle is what your life is. Hello, just call me. That's what it's asking us right now. It's asking us, will you believe in the dream state of insanity? Will you believe that has any power over you? Or will you claim a miracle in this moment? That's right, Tasha. That's right. So, the ego has one job, and that job is to keep you stuck, right? That job is to keep you from your love. That job is to keep reminding you, its job is to keep reminding you that you're a human and you are not the light of the world. Take a big deep breath. I don't know what you mean about grief. I'm not sure what you mean about grief. So, I want to say this last part again. unless you give it back, it is inevitable that your perspective on reality be warped and uncorrected. You can let go of grief. Grief has a process. Nothing in this work, says you can't have emotions. You can have emotions. It's okay. Grief is an emotion. That's okay. But realize you are not the grief. Most people think they're their emotions. Most people believe, I am sad, I am happy, I am depressed. You are not your emotions, and that's what this kind of leads us to. That leads us to this realization of, oh my gosh, that's right, Jesus expressed anger. Yes, you have huge emotions. So you're not your emotions. You are the light of the world that's having an experience of an emotion. And if you are more connected in those moments with being the light that is never ending, that is the love of the world, then it totally changes. Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. So it must be that you need this. It must be that you need something. So you were guided here. I love that. That's just beautiful. I love that. I'm going to read just a little bit and then we're going to wrap up. Okay? As long as you would have it so that you wouldn't give something back, right? So long will the illusion of an order of difficulty in miracles remain to you. So as long as you hold on to, I am the grief, I am the depression, I am the craziness, I am the anxiety, so long will the illusion of an order of difficulties in miracles remain to you. For you have established this order in reality by giving some of it to one teacher and some of it to the other. And so, you learn to deal with part of the truth in one way and another part in another way. But there's only one way. There is literally only one way. And that one way is love. That one way is love. Everything is love or a call for love. Within yourself, in the world, in relationships, everything is love or a call for love. So, when we recognize this is a call for love, that's when we go, oh, wait a second. I need to hand this over to love. I'm so glad, Native Graffiti. I need to do something different here, right? If you're new, we're reading from A Course in Miracles, which is a spiritual mind training that helps us. Okay? All right. Now, I want to... Hold on. Let me just look here a second. Okay, here, let's go. I'm going to skip. Here we go. Here we go. Reserve... Not one. Do I look like a girl today? Maybe I'm just pretty. Maybe I'm just pretty. That's like the third person that says, "Are you a she-male?" Okay, let's go. Okay. This she-male needs a shave. She-male needs a shave. It always will. It always will. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be the ending. So let's just come back. Okay? Reserve not one idea aside from truth, or you cherish order of reality, and that must imprison you. There is no order in reality because everything there is true. Be willing then, here's your prescription, everybody. This is the prescription. Be willing then to give all you have held outside the truth to him who knows the truth, and in him all is brought to truth. Listen to this. Be willing then to give all you have held outside the truth, meaning all you have held outside of love that you want to control. Really, when you stay in your whatever, you want to control it. Be willing to give all that you have held outside the truth to him who knows the truth, and in him who all is brought to truth. Take a deep breath. All right, let's just close our eyes and say a prayer. And just allow yourself to sink into this present moment. And take everything in your life that you see as a problem. It could be your internal struggle with anxiety, depression, figuring things out, or it could be your financial world, it could be your relationship. Take everything that you see as a problem, and in this moment, make the decision to let it go, to hand it over to the love of God. Let it go so that you can return again to peace, and you can return again to love. Dear God, we ask for a miracle today. Dear God, we ask to walk through this world full of miracles. Dear God, we ask that we let go of trying to control situations ourselves, and when they come up, we hand them over gratefully. We hand them over with joy, knowing that it is the only way to come back to our love. Take a big deep breath. Put a smile on your face. And know that the truth is here. And open your eyes.